Last class, we have learned different terms related to points in crossing. So in today's class, we'll go through the topic turnout and we'll also learn the different types of switches used in railways. So what is a turnout? Turnout is an arrangement of points in crossing with lead rail by means of which the rolling stock may be diverted from one track to another. So what you can see in the figure is the constituents of a turnout. Turnout is actually a combination of points and crossings. You can see here, this is the point and this is the crossing. Okay, you have understood all the terms by going through the video in the last class. So a combination of points and crossings is the turnout. So it is that arrangement of points and crossing with lead rail. Lead rail means it is the turnout rail. Basically, the turnout rails will be called the lead rail. You can see over here, outer straight lead rail, outer curve lead rail, inner straight lead rail, inner curve lead rail. Okay, so by means of which the rolling stock is getting diverted from one track to another. This is at main track and from here it is getting diverted to another. So mainly the objective of turnout is to provide facilities for the safe movement of trains in either direction. So sometimes the turnout, here it is a right hand turnout, it is for diverting the train to the right side. Sometimes it can be like here the train has to get diverged to the left side. So then it comes, or it is called as a left hand turnout. So basically it is mainly the provision which is being provided so as to make the facilities of train to move in a safe manner. Okay. Now the figure shows the constituents of turnout. You can see here the points. Okay. You can see here the stock rail. You can see here the tongue rail. Here the stock rail is there and here the tongue rail is there. Then you can see the wing rail, check rail, throat, flare, everything. These are the terms what we have learned in the last video. So now coming to the facing direction and trailing direction. So if someone is standing at the toe of switch and is looking towards the crossing, then the direction is called the facing direction. You can see over here facing direction and the arrows shown to the right. So facing direction means if someone is standing at the toe of switch, this is the toe of the switch. You know, a switch will be having a toe portion and it will be having a heel portion. Okay, so here also switch will be having a toe portion and it will be having a heel portion. So if someone is standing at the toe of switch and is looking towards the crossing, okay, then that is known as the facing direction. Now coming to the trailing direction, just the opposite of facing direction will be the trailing direction. That means if someone is standing at the crossing and he is looking towards the switch, then it is known as the trailing direction. Okay, so if someone is standing at the crossing point and looking towards the switch, then that is known as the trailing direction. Now comes the facing point of turnout and the trailing point of turnout. So if the trains pass over the switches first and then they pass over the crossing, if the train is passing switch first, then it moves towards the crossing, then that is known as facing point of turnout. Now this is very important to specify because some of the trains or some of the direction of movement of train is reserved only for facing direction. Okay. Now same like that, trailing point of turnout is there. It is the opposite of facing point. It specifies what? The train will be passing over the crossing first. It will be passing over the crossing first, then they will come to the switch. If that is the case, it is known as the trailing point of turnout. Now this is also important to specify because the direction for some of the trains, the direction of movement of train is reserved for trailing direction only. So these two terms are very important. Now what you can see is a left hand turnout and a right hand turnout. So what is left hand turnout? If a train from the main track is directed to the left of the main route in the facing direction, then the diversion is known as left hand turnout. You can see over here, this is the facing direction, which means you will be having first switch, then you will have crossing. Okay. Now, if this is the condition and if the train is getting diverted to the left, then this is known as left hand turnout. Okay. Now, if a train from main track is getting diverted to the right in the main route in the facing direction, then this diversion or this direction is known as the right hand turnout. You can see over here, this is the facing direction, this is the trailing direction. Here it is getting diverted to the right. So this is a right hand turnout. Now you can also see here right hand switch and left hand switch. Here also right hand switch and left hand switch. So these are termed as left hand or right hand switch depending upon left or right when seen from the facing direction. Okay, that is, if someone is standing in the point and is looking towards the crossing, then what happens? This becomes the left hand switch and this becomes the right hand switch. Here also this is the facing direction. So if someone is standing over here, this will be the left hand switch and this is the right hand switch. Now let's learn the different types of switches used in railway. Before that, I'll tell you how the trains change their tracks or how they are getting diverted to right or left. Here you can see an arrangement of point and crossing. Here the switch rod is there, switch rod or the stretcher bar. So you have to remember that this portion or this distance is fixed, but these rails are movable. It can either go to the left or it can move to the right. Now a switch motor is there which allows the movement. Okay. Now in this position you can see here, this tapered rail or the tongue rail is very close to the stock rail, and here there is a gap provided. Now in this condition what happens? That is, if the tongue rail is moved up, then there is no gap for the flange of wheel. It comes on the tongue rail and it moves like this. When coming to the lower portion, a gap is provided. The flange of wheel moves through the gap and then again it comes over to this rail. Okay, that means it is getting diverted to the right. Now, when the switch is made such that it is moved to the downward position, then here a gap will be formed and here the tapered rail will come in close to the stock rail. Okay, then here you can see a gap will be formed, then the train will move like this. Okay, here it will be, since this is flushed, the flanges will come over this and they will move to the straight track. Okay, so this is how the trains changes their track. Now coming to the types of switches. Switches are mainly of two types. One is the stub switch and other is the split switch. The stub switches are no more in use in Indian railways because of many of the disadvantages of the stub switch. Okay. Now the split switches may be again of three types. One is the undercut switch, other is the overriding switch, and next is the straight cut switch. First I'll tell you what is a stub switch. Now you can see the photograph of a switch which is known as the stub switch. Here there is no tongue rail. Okay, no tongue rail arrangement is there. The main rail itself is being shifted left or right. That is, a portion of track is moved from side to side. So here you can see a lever arrangement. In this position what you can see, this is how the track is formed, or this is being joined together. Okay. Now here a lever arrangement is there. When you are pulling the lever to the left, what happens? This portion will be formed. That means from here this is made to join this. These are the two rails, but here main type of rail only is used, but one rail or the pair of rail is movable. So no arrangement of tongue rail is here. By the usage of lever, it is moved and it is made to join this side or it is made to join this side. Okay. So here you can see this is the track which is formed. Okay. Now when this track or when this rail is pulled this side, some arrangement will be here, a lever arrangement, and if it is pulled, this rail will come in connection with this and this rail will come in connection with this. That is what is seen in the next figure. So this is the stub switch. So here the rails get shifted and they match the alignment so that the train can move conveniently. But the disadvantages are there. That is, here manual operation is to be required. Every time a person has to stand here and he have to pull the rails. Now, even if the fixed rail and the moving rail were made in same level, what happens? Wear and tear can happen, and because of the continuous movement of train on track, and there is a possibility that there can be a mismatch of level. Then what will happen? Then huge accidents can also happen. So once the tongue rail concept came into picture, then this type of switches were no longer used. Okay, so they were completely discarded then. So this is about the stub switch. Now coming to the split switch. There are mainly three types of split switch. One is the undercut switch, next is the straight cut switch, and other is the overriding switch. Okay, so by now you should know that switch is what? You are having an arrangement of, or you are having a combination of stalk rail and tongue rail, and you are capable or you are able to move the tapered rail, or you are able to move the switch rail over here. Okay, so in undercut switch, what is there? You can see in the figure that the flat footed rail, it is being cut, and then a tongue rail is being joined to this. You can see over here, the stalk rail flat foot is being cut, or the flange is being cut, and a tongue rail is kept in position with the stalk rail, such that both the level of tongue rail and stalk rail comes in position. Now you can see here, the height of this switch rail is little more downwards. So this was an older version of undercut switch. At present, this is made in the same level of that of the stalk rail. Okay, this is the stalk rail, this is the switch rail. So in the beginning or in olden times, what happened? Undercut switch was such that a level difference was there, but modified undercut switch is there, by which this height difference is not there. Okay, even though these two are flushed together, a 6 mm difference will be there, and you should understand that this rail is moved to the left or right, so that a gap is formed and the flanges can move of the flanges of the wheel can move through the diversion or taking a diversion. Now coming to this kind, that is undercut switch, I have told you that here level difference is there, but a modified type is there, whereby it is in the same level with that of the stalk rail. Now this kind of switch, that is the undercut switch, is mainly used for narrow gauges, and the reason will be what? Because in narrow gauges the traffic will be very less. Okay, that is much traffic won't be there, and the reason why we are using for narrow gauges, you will understand from here that this portion is being cut. That means the symmetry of the entire rail is being disturbed. Okay, so when the symmetry of the rail is disturbed, then there is a possibility that, or by sure you can say that, the strength will get reduced. Then wear and tear can happen more. Even though you are joining these two portions, since the symmetry is affected, wear and tear can happen more in case of this kind of switch. Okay, so because of this reason, they are mainly used for a narrow gauges. That means where there is very less traffic. Now coming to the overriding switch, here you can see that the flat footed section is kept in the same manner, that is symmetry is not affected over here, but a tongue rail is being kept exactly like this. Okay, it is kept in position with that of the stalk rail. Here this is made a heavier section and this is made a lighter section. Now tongue rail is moved left or right. I have told you, in order to make the wheel of flanges, sometimes you have to make it go right or left. That is, the train has to move right or left. In order to change the track only, we are providing the switches. So that means in between gaps will be coming, and in sometimes gap won't be there. That means this rail is movable. It can move either to the left or it can move to the right. So in order to match the level, an extra plate is kept over here so that the tongue rail does not get slip. See here, exactly on the foot you are placing this. So when this is moving to the left, then there is a possibility that if this small portion, that is the packing piece, is not kept, what will happen? Then this place will be vacant. Then what happened? If this is coming to the left, then this will get slip over here. Okay, so in order to maintain the level, along with the flat-footed portion, a small piece is kept over here, and on that this tongue rail is being fixed. Okay, so this is much more better than the undercut switch. So this is basically used for broad gauge and meter gauge. Now the density is made less over here for the tongue rail, or you can say the lighter section is being used for the tongue rail because this is kept on top of the stock rail. Okay, if both are made in the same dimension or if both are made heavier, then they will get damaged easily because on the stock rail this is kept, this is kept, this is kept moving. Okay, so this may affect. So since on top of the stock rail this is kept, this is made of heavier section or the density is more, and this is made lighter. Now coming to the straight cut, you can see over here, this is basically used for double-headed or bull-headed. You can see the figure as double-headed. This dimension is same as this dimension. So this is useful for bull-headed as well as double-headed. If it is double-headed, then this portion and this portion will be same. If it is bull-headed, then what will happen? This will be having a larger dimension compared to the bottom portion. So if you are keeping the straight cut switch here, then what will happen for a bull-headed? This will come to this side, then the switch will come to this side. Okay, what I am saying is, if the dimension here if this is the bull head, okay, that means by the lower portion, compared to the lower portion, this is heavier portion or it is having a higher dimension, then this tongue rail will be getting shifted to this side. That means the tongue rail will come to this position. Okay, then that means there will be a gap formed over here. Then it can be made, or this can be aligned by some means of packing. Some things can be kept in between so that they come in contact. Okay, so this can be used for both bull-headed as well as double-headed. Now the tongue rail is kept straight, or it is cut straight in line with the stock rail. Exact 90 degree you can see over here. Exact 90 degree along with this. So it is known as a straight cut switch. So in Indian Railways, what we go for, or the type of switch what we use, is the split type of switch. Stub switches are not in use no more because of the problems like wear and tear, or it is not that much adaptable because the main rail itself is being shifted. So once the idea of tongue rail came, that is tapered rail came, then completely everywhere we started using split switches.